Hi, and welcome to this presentation, Auto Insurance in Maryland. My name is Patricia Dorn, and I'm with the Consumer Education and Advocacy Unit of the Maryland Insurance Administration. Today, we're going to talk about who we are. So what is the Maryland Insurance Administration? We're going to talk about what is auto insurance and how are auto insurance premiums developed. We're going to talk about tips to reduce premiums, comparison shopping for auto insurance, what to do if you're in an automobile accident, and we'll talk about filing an auto insurance protest or a complaint. So who are we? What is the Maryland Insurance Administration? The Maryland Insurance Administration is the Maryland state agency that regulates insurance in Maryland. So what that means is we license the insurers and we license the insurance producers to do business in Maryland. The insurance producers, those are your agents and your brokers. We examine the business practices of those licensees to ensure compliance. So we make sure that they follow Maryland's laws. We monitor the solvency of insurers. So we make sure that they have the money to pay your claims. And we review and approve insurance policy forms, so your insurance policies. We also review insurance rates to ensure that the rates are not inadequate, so that they are collecting enough money to be able to pay claims, but that they're also not excessive and that they're not unfairly discriminatory. And we investigate consumer, so your complaints and allegations of fraud, as well as provider complaints and allegations of fraud. Here I have a link to a video called How the MIA Can Help. And throughout this presentation, there's going to be links to videos. I'm not going to be showing the videos today, but you can find all of those videos on our YouTube page. So on the Maryland Insurance Administration YouTube page. So if you feel that your insurer or your insurance producer, so your agent or your broker, has acted improperly, you have the right to file a complaint with the Maryland Insurance Administration. Examples of improper actions include improperly denying or delaying payment of all or portions of a claim, improperly terminating or canceling your insurance policy, raising your insurance premiums without proper notice, making false statements to you in connection with the sale of insurance or the processing of insurance claims, and overcharging you for services, including premium finance charges. So what is auto insurance? Auto insurance is a contract between you and the insurer that protects you against financial loss. In exchange for you paying a premium, the insurer agrees to pay for certain covered losses as described in your policy. And I'm going to start with talking about liability insurance. Liability insurance protects policyholders and other insureds when they cause an accident. So there are two types of liability coverage. Bodily injury liability coverage, and that protects you if the driver of your car causes an accident and an injured person makes a claim or files a lawsuit against you, unless the driver of the car is excluded. So in some cases, a person may exclude someone who lives with them from their policy. So perhaps that person is a high-risk driver, and then they wouldn't be covered under the liability. Or the person does not have a reasonable belief they are entitled to drive your vehicle. So an example of that could be if your vehicle was stolen Property damage liability. This protects you if the driver of your car causes an accident resulting in damage to someone else's property, like another vehicle or other property, such as a fence. Again, unless the driver of your car is excluded or does not have a reasonable belief, they are entitled to drive your vehicle. And so in Maryland, you must have liability insurance in order to drive your vehicle legally. And Maryland law requires all registered vehicle owners to carry a minimum amount of liability coverage. And so the minimum coverage that is required by Maryland law, that's $30,000 for bodily injury per person. It's $60,000 bodily injury per accident, and then $15,000 of property damage. Uninsured motorist coverage. This protects you and other insureds under your policy's terms when an accident is caused by a driver who does not have auto insurance coverage or does not have enough liability insurance, or when the owner of the at-fault vehicle cannot be identified, such as in the case of a hit and run. And for this, Maryland law requires all registered vehicle owners to carry a minimum amount of uninsured motorist coverage. And the coverage required by law is, again, it's $30,000 for bodily injury per accident, $60,000 bodily injury per person, $30,000 per person, $60,000 per accident, and $15,000 property damage. So what happens if I have a lapse in my auto insurance? So again, in order to drive your vehicle legally in Maryland, you need to have that liability insurance. You need to have that uninsured motorist coverage. So if you have a lapse, Maryland law requires you maintain the required minimum coverage at all times while the vehicle is registered. And the Motor Vehicle Administration will assess a penalty for every day that you do not maintain minimum coverage. And if you want more details about the penalties, you can find that at the Motor Vehicle Administration's website. So some more things about auto insurance coverage. Other parts of auto insurance coverage, collision coverage. Collision coverage is an optional coverage that you purchase to provide for payment of property damage to your insured vehicle from a collision with another vehicle or object. If you're in an accident and you have collision coverage, your insurer will pay to repair your vehicle or will pay you what your vehicle was worth right before the accident occurred if your vehicle is a total loss. Comprehensive coverage. This is going to pay for damage to your car resulting from causes other than a collision. And that's going to be things like vandalism, theft, or storm damage. And typically both collision and comprehensive coverage do have a deductible. So again, when it comes to your auto insurance coverage, it's the comprehensive coverage that provides you for coverage for property damage to your insured vehicle resulting from occurrences other than collision. So things like flooding, things like theft, vandalism, glass breakage not resulting from an accident, a vehicle striking an animal, and then in that picture we see a tree falling on a vehicle. That would also be something that would fall under your comprehensive coverage. Personal injury protection, or PIP. That is likely to be a part of your auto insurance coverage in Maryland. This provides reimbursement for medical expenses arising from a motor vehicle accident for injuries to you, your passengers, or a pedestrian struck by your vehicle. It will also cover lost wages and other expenses arising from a motor vehicle accident. Maryland law requires insurers to offer policyholders at least $2,500 in PIP. You may elect to purchase limited PIP coverage, and certain individuals may be able to fully reject PIP coverage. You need to talk to your insurance agent, your broker, or your insurer for information about your own situation with PIP. So how are auto insurance premiums developed? There's a wide variety of criteria considered to help the insurer in predicting the likelihood that you will be in an accident or file a claim. So they're trying to predict that. What is the likelihood that you're going to file a claim? And here is a link to a video. There's a video on our YouTube page called How Does an Auto Insurer Determine Your Premium? Well, the factors, the variables that they might consider are age, sex, marital status, the number of miles driven annually, your driving record, credit history, the purpose the vehicle is driven for, the location of where the vehicle is garaged, driving experience, and claims history. So some tips to reduce premiums. Know the coverages that you have. So in order to shop and start to think about actually reducing the premiums, you really need to have an understanding of what you're paying for. You need to understand what your auto insurance policy looks like now. So do you have, you obviously have liability. Do you have collision? Do you have comprehensive? And know your limits and know your deductibles. So think about whether or not these coverages and these limits still make sense for your situation now. And remember, if you drop collision or comprehensive and your car is damaged in an accident that you caused, or it's stolen or vandalized, you will be responsible for paying for the damage or replacing your vehicle. So if you have a loan on your vehicle, the lender is going to require that you have physical damage. So the lender is going to protect their own interests, and they're going to require that you have that collision and that comprehensive to protect their financial interests. But when you don't have a lender involved, then it's up to you to decide whether or not collision and comprehensive make sense to you. We also recommend that you shop for insurance before you purchase a new vehicle. So that way you fully understand the cost of driving your new car. Some more tips. Consider whether increasing the amount of your deductible, and so the collision and or the comprehensive, to lower your premium would be beneficial. So it's likely, if let's say you have a $250 deductible or deductibles, it's likely that if you increased it, then you would pay less for your premium. So assess your own situation. If you do have something like a $250 and you think you might be able to afford $500 out of your pocket should something happen, then maybe that makes sense to you. But know your own situation. If you don't think you would be able to come up with the extra money, then maybe it would make sense to keep your deductible as it is. Ask your insurer whether there are any discounts that might be available to you. They're likely going to talk to you about discounts, but if they don't, bring it up yourself. There may be good driver discounts available, multi-policy discounts, multi-vehicle discounts, or discounts for protective devices. Not all companies offer the same discounts. Have a good driving record. That's very helpful in getting a good rate for your auto insurance. And check your credit. In Maryland, insurers may use your credit to determine your premium when you purchase your policy, subject to certain legal limitations. So after you purchase your policy, your insurer cannot use your credit to raise your policy's renewal premium. It's important to know that not all insurers use your credit history, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more later in this presentation. But those that do must review your credit every 2 years or sooner at your request, and they must provide you with any premium relief that you are due based on an improvement in your credit situation. So comparison shopping. We definitely recommend comparison shopping. So look and see if you can obtain the same coverages from another insurer at a lower cost. So look and see if you can obtain the same coverage you have now, or if you've kind of spent some time looking at your policy and realizing that, okay, this doesn't work for me, maybe this would work better. Make sure that when you start shopping, that you're comparing policies that offer the same types of coverage with the same deductibles and the same coverage limits. So make sure you're doing an apples to apples to apples comparison. Make sure the information that you provide is accurate and that you provide the same information to each insurer you call. And don't forget to ask about deductibles and ask about when those deductibles apply. Ask about what's covered under your policy and ask about what is excluded under your policy. Don't buy the insurance policy based solely on its price. You need to consider the coverages and the limits, and you may also want to consider customer service, including claims service. And don't hesitate to ask friends and neighbors about their experience with different insurers. Now I'm going to introduce you to our rate guide. The Maryland Insurance Administration publishes this rate guide, Auto Insurance, a comparison guide to rates. And we publish it every 6 months with updated rates. The document that we're going to be looking at today is from August of 2020. So you can request the rate guide. You can call us and you can request that the rate guide be snail mailed to you. It can be mailed out to you, or you can visit our website and you can view it there or download it there. And when you have the rate guide, whether or not you're viewing it on your computer or physically, the first few pages are going to be scenarios. And so what we're doing here is we're trying to capture different driving scenarios. In order for us to generate the rates, or in order for us to generate the quotes that you see later in this guide, we actually have to give the insurance companies as much information as you would. So we're giving the insurers, we're saying a single male, age 50, renter, for looking at the top here for scenario 10. So in order to generate these rates, we need to give them enough information to generate a rate. And so what you're looking at in this guide are rates for specific situations. And what that means is that you're not going to find your exact situation in here. And the idea is that you try to find the one that closest matches yourself. And then you turn to the rates and you can see that what the different companies are offering for that scenario. So the rates shown in this guide are total annual premiums for 22 different scenarios. So again, this first one on the page here is scenario 10. It's a single male, age 50, renter, driving a 2016 Ford F-150, driving 60 miles each day for work, 25,000 miles annually. So this is a person who drives a lot. No accidents or violations, best credit history, and then at the bottom are the actual limits for his policy. Now, you might be somebody who's a male, somewhat close to age 50. Maybe you're not driving a 2016 Ford F-150. Maybe you're driving an SUV. So maybe this would be the scenario that makes the most sense to you. On the next page are some family rates. This is just to show you that in the guide, we do take into consideration people with more complicated situations. And now here, I've moved on to the rates themselves. And so after you choose a scenario that makes the most sense to you, you can go ahead and turn to the pages that scenario is on. So the page that I'm on here is actually, it's scenario 11. It's our single female age 50 scenario. And I know that this is a little bit hard to read. On the next slide, I've zoomed in and it should be a little bit easier to read, but this is what you're gonna see in the guide. So if you're, say, a single female age 50, you've chosen scenario 11, then this is what you're gonna see. And let's say that you live in Allegheny County. You're gonna see that we've split it up into counties and Baltimore City. And in a couple of the cases like Montgomery County, there are multiple different zip codes that we're using. But I'm just gonna look at the first column, so Allegheny County. And if you just scroll down that column, you can see that there's a lot of variance from company to company. And this is our way of showing you that comparison shopping is definitely a task worth doing if you're trying to get the best rate for auto insurance, because these rates are for the exact same insurance product. And then here's the next page where I have zoomed in. This is, again, scenario 11. This is our single female age 50. And so you can just kind of see a close up. This is just a snapshot. And the one thing that I wanted to point out is that all the way to the left, you're going to see an asterisk. The asterisk indicates those insurers that use credit score in determining premiums. So that can be important to know. If you're somebody with not so great credit, you might want to start shopping with those companies that don't use credit scores in determining premiums. And so we try to make that information available to you by putting that asterisk by the companies that do in fact use credit scores in determining premiums in Maryland. And this is our policy comparison worksheet. And you're going to find that close to the beginning of the guide. You can use this worksheet to help gather the information about insurers and the automobile insurance policies that they sell. And so a great way to use it would be if you've narrowed it down, you kind of went through that list, that Allegheny County list, and you decided, all right, these are the 3 companies that I'm going to call. So you can put the insurer names at the top. And the worksheet's actually a few pages long, and it's going to kind of step you through. It's going to kind of be there to remind you about the questions that you should be asking and the things that you should be jotting down. And then when you're done, when let's say you've called a couple or you've called 3 or 4, you have all of that information side by side right there, and it's to help you make a final decision. So again, this brochure is available on our website, and it's called Auto Insurance, a comparison guide to rates. You can call us. You can call us at 800-492-6116 to request a copy. And again, these rates are updated in the guide every February and August. The insurer's phone numbers and the websites are available in the back of the book. So what if you're in an automobile accident? We have some tips for you. So dial 911 if needed and give the operator information about the incident and if any medical assistance or towing is needed. Take pictures or draw a diagram of the scene if it's safe to do so. Remove the vehicle from the roadway and off to the side if that is possible. Talk to witnesses. Obtain names, addresses, and phone numbers. cooperate with the police, provide all the information requested, and write down your incident, accident number, and the officer's name and badge number. Write down the location and the time of the accident. Exchange information with all involved in the accident, as well as insurance information. And contact your insurer as soon as possible and provide all information as requested. So a common question that we get at the Maryland Insurance Administration is, can my insurer repair my vehicle with used parts? So that is going to depend on the specific terms of your policy. When there is property damage to an insured vehicle, most policies require the insurer to pay whichever is less. So the cost to repair the vehicle or the actual cash value. The use of aftermarket or used parts in the estimation of vehicle repair costs is not prohibited by Maryland insurance law. Unless the policy contains a provision specifying the type of parts to be used in a repair, an estimate may include original equipment manufacturer or OEM parts, used or aftermarket parts. As the vehicle owner, you get to choose what parts go on your car. However, you may have to pay the difference out of pocket between a higher priced OEM part and an aftermarket part. So what happens if your insurer decides that your vehicle is a total loss? If your vehicle is determined to be a total loss, your insurer will make a settlement offer reflecting the actual cash value, the ACV, of the vehicle immediately prior to the loss, and you will be responsible for payment of your deductible. So again, what if my vehicle is a total loss? Well, the cost to repair your vehicle is 75% or greater than the fair market value of the vehicle immediately prior to the loss. That's a total loss. Your insurer is permitted to add additional costs, such as the cost of the rental vehicle and potential hidden damage, to the cost to repair your vehicle when they are calculating the 75% value. You may request the following in writing from the insurer. You may request the settlement offer, explanation of the method used to arrive at the offer, a detailed explanation of the calculation of the motor vehicle's total loss value, including the calculation of any value added to the motor vehicle by options, a list of all the deductions that will be made from the value of the motor vehicle, and a copy of the inspection guidelines relied on to determine the condition of the vehicle at the time of loss. The insurer is required by law to respond within 7 business days of your request. Settlement offer. If you think your car is worth more than what the insurer offered you, you can negotiate with your insurer. It's important to know that you must provide supporting documentation for your counteroffer. You can do this by getting quotes from car dealers or by viewing prices and ads online for similar vehicles. So what if you receive a notice of premium increase, or what if you have a problem with your insurance company? So I'm going to talk to you for a minute about filing an auto insurance protest or a complaint with the Maryland Insurance Administration. So if you receive a notice of premium increase or a non-renewal notice pertaining to your auto policy in Maryland, you have the right to file a protest and you have the right to have your situation investigated. But also, if you're just having another problem with your insurance company or you're having the problem with a claim that's in progress, the Maryland Insurance Administration has established a rapid response program that is designed to help certain consumers resolve property and casualty claims. So that means auto. It's designed to solve these quickly and without having to file a formal written complaint. For more information about this program, you can contact us at the phone numbers that are listed on this slide. And so participation in the Rapid Response Program is voluntary. It does not affect your right to file a formal complaint. So you can file your less formal complaint through the Rapid Response Program, or you can file a formal complaint with us as well. But if you're having a problem with an insurance company or an insurance claim that is in progress, do not hesitate to contact the Maryland Insurance Administration about potentially filing a complaint with us. Consumers may also file a complaint by going online to the Maryland Insurance Administration's website. It's listed here. It's www.insurance.maryland.gov. And when you're on that page, you can just click on Consumers, and then you're going to see something that says File a Complaint. And that's the process that you're going to want to file if you want to file that complaint online. On our website, we have some additional publications related to auto insurance. We have the Consumer Guide to Auto Insurance. So it covers a lot of the things that I covered here today, but it goes into more detail and it has a lot more frequently asked questions. We have a document for tips on shopping for automobile insurance. And we have Understanding Your Automobile Insurance Declaration page. So in case when you get your policy in the mail or in your email, that declaration page is confusing to you, we have a document that can help you understand. And then our rate guide, so the auto insurance comparison guide to rates. You're going to find that on our website. And again, you can request any of these things be mailed to you as well. And we also have an insurance preparedness guide for natural disasters, and that has some information about auto insurance with regards to natural disasters. Our contact information is here, the Maryland Insurance Administration and our phone numbers on our website as well. I've listed the Motor Vehicle Administration and their phone number and website as well. So any questions, you can contact me. It's patricia.dorn@maryland.gov. And thank you very much.